Hey guys, it's Crip Drip. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are all having a great day. I just wanted to kind of kickstart this episode today with just a general market cap and how crypto has been doing since my last video. And it looks like we're sitting at around a $240 billion total crypto market cap. But more importantly, we still are at that 53% Bitcoin dominance. And again, in my last video, I did say that because the crypto market is growing and it's slowly growing, and the fact that Bitcoin's dominance is staying at 53%, because usually when the overall market cap grows, Bitcoin loses dominance. But in this case, it's not, and this is a clear indication that there is fresh money coming in. There's a lot going on in the background that we don't know, and usually when media is very quiet, that's usually when things are happening, because big players don't like to be in the same boat as small players. It's just not how it is, and this channel is about thinking like a whale, thinking like how you can make money over the long term with crypto, and thinking from a future perspective, and understanding that sometimes whales want you to buy in at certain times so the market can keep dipping. When people short markets, it's not just purely selling pressure that makes something go down. Like when you're shorting something, you're essentially selling the price, right? And you're selling it to someone. So the thing is, who are these whales shorting it to or making entries off of? Well, the retail traders. They're trying to sell their bags to retail traders so they can short or do whatever position they're trying to do. So it's just something to consider. I think there's a lot of buying going on right now, especially with Bitcoin, and that's just my take on it. And there's a lot of FUD on Ethereum lately about this being like a really shit coin kind of thing out of nowhere. I don't know why. To be very clear, Ethereum creates smart contracts where we can create applications and a purpose for blockchain. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is just a currency, so you can't create a blockchain technology for law firms, for example, that have documents on the public record on the blockchain for everyone to view. It's just not there. You can't do that with a Bitcoin. Bitcoin is purely just a currency, and that's what it's for, like transactions. Whereas Ethereum, you can create certain applications for it, and that's basically what it is for. And that's flourished, allowed that gateway for all these ICOs and people to be entrepreneurial and create startups based off of Ethereum. For example, say for mortgages, real estate transactions, you want it on the public record. Well, there's all these startups that are targeting these. Obviously, it's a question whether who will win every single market, but it is there and it's already happening, and that is enabled by Ethereum, not by Bitcoin or XRP or anything else. I know a lot of other coins are trying to create platforms. Everybody's trying to create a platform these days. It's a huge thing. It's a huge shark market. Everyone wants to be that, but to be realistic, there really can't be that many platforms out there. It just doesn't make sense. So I think that's going to be a very interesting outcome on what happens. But that's something to talk about later. So moving forward, I did want to talk about this article. So Bitcoin ETF will likely be approved next year. set by some random asset manager. And this is probably something that is being stated right now, but I'm gonna guess once we're like closer, once we are closer to the date of, yeah, it's 30th, right, of when what the SEC will say, I'm gonna take a good guess that CryptoCoin News and all these other media channels are gonna say the exact opposite, and they're gonna make you want to think that it is going to be approved. I don't know why they do this. Maybe it has to do with the same thing about, you know, whales wanting you to buy in, and when they're trying to get out, certain things like that. Because you need to realize with cryptocurrency, liquidity is not as easy and a common thing. Not with every coin. Maybe with like certain coins and exchanges and stuff like that. But it's really not that common. So if you're trying to, you know, get into certain crypto and get out at a certain time, well, you can't guarantee that you'll be getting in at that certain price and getting out at the desired price you'd want to, even though it is at that price. So it's just something to consider. Yeah, so I heavily agree with this. Bitcoin ETF will not be approved. It will probably most likely be postponed to February, and will probably get accepted then. I definitely think it will get accepted next year, just not this year, even though I know that it is by a reputable body, the Chicago Board of Exchange. Very reputable. They know what they're doing, and I really don't think the SEC is going to say no to them. They're just probably talking and saying, hey, look, you know, we're just going to postpone it. We're not going to decline it. We're not going to give you the middle finger. We're just going to decline it. Well, we're going to postpone it, and we're going to accept it later on when it's a better time to do so. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen, guys. And that's basically where the next bull run will happen. And that will trigger it. And then we're looking at another, I'd say, year-long bull run, I'd say. So, yeah, just because something you guys should consider. The bull runs are always longer than the bear runs. Just something I noticed. When you look at these bullish markets and bear markets, the bull markets are always, from a timeline perspective, are always longer. It might be a slower grind up, but it is overall a longer timeline, and that has been with every single bull market in existence for crypto, for specifically Bitcoin. So it's just something that I thought I'd share with you guys. So I do think this is gonna, you know, it's gonna definitely trigger a bull run, just not in September. A lot of people might be thinking, oh well, alt season has begun, and there has been a lot of crypto out there that has been doing really well just recently, you know, just in the past few days, because after Dogecoin just like went up ridiculously, some other coins did as well, you know, not obviously as high, but you know, like a fair bit, you know, like this is pretty good, right? So yeah, I mean, like, I think usually what happens is one coin ends up mooning for a bit, and then other coins follow suit. Some coins are delayed, and that's what I really like about Coin Paprika, because when it does come time to alt season, and you know that every coin is eventually going to go up, it's good to have this 1 hour, 24 hour, and 7 day timeline, so you can see where each coin stands. So when you're trying to catch in on the run, you're not going to obviously put your money on Dogecoin, but instead maybe put your money in Lisk, because it's overall, you know, red, and probably a more room for growth in the short term for Lisk than Dogecoin. So yeah, guys. So that was just something I looked into, and so I kind of want to talk about technical analysis here. Check out the daily candle. So looking at the candle, very nice green candle, fairly bullish candle. Really hard to say what will happen. I think what's going to happen here is we're going to probably find resistance maximum around 70. I'd say the ceiling is at 7,800. To be honest, I know it's like a random number, but there is there is a support here. So I think the market will end up stopping here in the at the maximum level, and what will happen? It'll probably grind sideways, and once we get closer to the Bitcoin ETF decision, we're probably going to see a lot of news from CNBC and all these people saying that the ETF is going to get accepted, but really it's not. And that's what's end up going to happening is we're probably going to send this market all the way down to 6,800, I'd say. And then from there, probably just grind sideways. I really don't see this market dipping anymore, because if Bitcoin dips like below this support here, this support, then if you look at like altcoins from an altcoin perspective, like that's ridiculous. Like, I mean, for example, right, like that means like we haven't even seen the bottom for altcoins, pretty much. Like that means like Zilliqa will be like 2 cents or like 1 cent, so there is that possibility. I don't see it. When we look into like past dips, as I was showing Dash on my last video, coins end up going up and then back down to where they started, but maybe at times 2 to where it started. For example, right, like as I'm just going to show it again, just because it's such a great way to understand how crypto behavior is. So let me just show you again here. Sorry, my cough, guys. It's a bit under the weather. So I mean, okay, so forget about everything that happened after here, but let's like look into the bear market, right? So this is right here is a perfect analogy of crypto, right? So it started at 50 cents, right? 50 cents, and then it went to 14.50, right? 14.50, and then so I started at 50 cents, but now coming back down, it ended up going to, what's its low? Roughly a dollar. So it was at 50 cents, it ended up 20xing to 14 cents, or sorry, $14, going all the way back to a dollar, only to see it go to $24. So if we just think about that, guys, from a long-term perspective, and look at all this downtime here. This is what we're going through, this down phase, and I really think this is true. And what's going to happen is somewhere around here, in February, right? So in February, that is when they have to revisit the Bitcoin ETF. And once that gets approved, obviously there will be a short-term high, and because obviously the ETF will be approved, but then obviously it's going to dip. Probably some FUD coming out, some more FUD over here, more FUD by CNBC, more FUD, and then it's just going to keep going up, and then obviously CNBC is going to be like, oh, it's a suckers rally, or don't buy in, or something like that. So you actually want to really pay attention to what media says. You can use it as a direct tool, and you can understand the language of whales. Whales, unfortunately, guys, sorry to say this, but they really don't care about you making money. And usually what they do is they'll tell you the opposite, so they can do the opposite themselves. And they do that because if you understand how trading works and how money is being made. When someone makes money in the markets, somebody else is losing money, and that's exactly what's going to happen, right? So that's what they do, and that's how I feel. And yeah, guys, tell me what you guys think. I could be totally wrong. I'm very open to hearing new ideas, and yeah, so I'll definitely post another video, and like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video. Cheers.